In my late 20s, I ended up getting a work foreign assignment and ended up getting transferred down to Mexico with my wife, which was awesome. It was just an awesome experience. It was something I really, really badly wanted to happen. And I just wanted to be clear about how I went about making that happen. So, um, one thing that I was doing prior to going to Mexico was I was always doing goal setting. So I was always getting really clear about where I wanted my life to be in 3 to 5 years' time across all the different areas, but in particular in career in this case. And I knew I wanted to get a foreign assignment. I knew I wanted to get transferred to Mexico. And so once I was clear on that, the other thing that I was doing was saying, great, if that's what I want, what development can I be doing today to help make that happen? So, number one, I started talking to my wife about it and got her on board with the concept. And she had lived in Europe at one point in her life, so she was like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome." She was fully on board, fully supportive. So that was great. And then we said we both need to be taking Spanish lessons if we're going to end up in Mexico. So we started taking Spanish lessons, and ended up taking lessons for about a year and a half. Before any opportunity came along or anything came along. We're just doing the development, not really sure where it was going to go, if it was ever going to go anywhere. Fast forward, I end up at a strategy offsite for that company, and the vice president is kind of doing a recap on the year, things that worked and things that didn't work so well. And in things that didn't work so well, he said, one of my disappointments is I'd really hoped somebody from Mexico would have come north, somebody from Canada would have gone south, we would have done some sort of an exchange. And he was disappointed that didn't happen. So I made a note of that. And after the session was done, I went up to him, and his name's Bob. I said, Bob, hey, what did you mean by that? You said you're disappointed. Explain that to me. He said, I see a huge value in that, and this cross-pollination and this sharing of information and sharing of best practices and so on. And I'm disappointed that didn't happen. And here I was standing, the guy with the preparation, already kind of set up, knowing I'm the guy to go, and now the opportunity standing in front of me. So I said to Bob, I think I'm your guy. I can help you solve that problem. I can make sure you're not standing here a year from now at next year's strategy debrief saying you have the same disappointment. And here's why I'm the right guy to go. Here's my work performance, and here's what I've been doing at work over the last period. And I think I can drive those types of results down there. Two, my wife is fully on board. We've already talked about this. She's ready to go. So not an issue. Number three, my wife and I have been taking Spanish lessons for the last year, and our language skills are coming along. And so, we feel we're the ones to go. And so all of a sudden he's just going, wow, I just brought this up, and now I've got this young guy standing in front of me and giving me all the reasons that he's ready to go. So he said, so Bob's reply was awesome. Great. You need to talk to a guy named Cliff in the morning. Cliff's from HR. Cliff's going to help make this happen. And literally from the next morning on, the ball was rolling and this thing was put in motion. And the next thing I knew, I was flying to Mexico, and we had moved, and we're living down there, and actually had our kids down there. Just had an amazing experience. The thing I want to be really clear about, though, is how deliberate I was about making that happen, right? I had set the goal. So that was the first step. I had done the development in terms of the work that I was doing, in terms of getting my spouse aligned, in terms of doing the language classes. And so developmentally, I was doing all of what I needed to do. Not sure that the opportunity was necessarily going to come along. But then when the opportunity did come along, preparation met opportunity, poof, off we went. So my challenge or my encouragement for all of us is to be setting, what are your 3 to 5 year goals, getting really clear about that, and then what development do you need to be doing to really set yourself up to make sure that you're achieving that.